We begin with politics, where the governing All Progressives Congress says the party remains united and committed to the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration towards uplifting the quality of life of all Nigerians. This follows some reports in sections of the media suggesting disharmony among members of the National Working Committee and other critical sections of the party's leadership after the resignation of the national chairman. APC, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary Felix Morka, said the resignations under reference only show the high level of institutional maturity and quality of its leadership that place the best interests of the party first and above personal egos and ambitions. The statement added that while individual party leaders and members retain the right to express their personal thoughts and opinions, they do not represent the official position of the NWC or the party. Well, joining me now is National Publicity Secretary Felix Morka for more on the news this hour. Mr. Morka, thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7. You released a statement earlier today, and I'll quote from that statement. The APC stands as one strong, dynamic, resilient, and progressive party. Not too many political watchers think so in the wake of resignations by the party's national chairman and secretary. What would you say is going on in your party?
Well, normal is going on. It's just in the normal, usual course of the life of a party. Like any other entity, like the TVC, people come and go. People, are employed, and then at some point they leave, they resign and they go for whatever reason. A political party is no different from any other entity that's in existence, whether in the private sector or in the public sector. People come and go. Now, true, our national chairman resigned along with the national secretary of the party. Now, that is seen by some who want to see everything go wrong as something untoward, but there's nothing untoward about it. These were, quite frankly, voluntary resignations from the party. Yes, on the inside, they're precious. There are, a lot of considerations, which is why in the statement I put out, I made clear that these gentlemen made decisions that put the party first before their own personal egos and their own personal ambitions. Now, you can't say that for some other political parties. I'm sure in some of the opposition parties, you are very aware of the very fractious leadership crisis that they are facing, where people who ought to, leave for the good of the party hang on, they hold on tight, refusing to leave, even when the courts give decisions that suggest or that order that they leave. They hang on. But you know what? We just experienced a transition in the party without a whole lot of rancor. I think that's says a lot of volume for the party.
Mr. Morka, just as you have inferred, other parties have gone through this phase, but not all of them were able to recover. How is your party handling the situation so it does not degenerate?
Well, that's the point I made, which is that people don't understand. APC is a young party. I mean, we came into existence just in 2014, but the party has matured very quickly because of the philosophy and the commitment of its leaders to some fundamental values. This understanding that the party is greater than any one individual in the party. And we have systems that have also been constructed with a lot of clarity. Our constitution is very clear that when someone resigns, like the national chairman did, that the next person in line to that office takes over. And you saw the Deputy National Chairman North, Senator Abubakar Kyari, simply step up, as soon as the chairman resigned, because the constitution is clear and nobody contested it. Nobody, from any quarter, whether from the NWC or from the outside of the NWC, attempted to also, stake if you will, occupancy of that office. So, it just showed that we have come of age as a party, which is why Nigerians must trust the leadership of our president, who is the leader of our party, to ride through and sort through some of the thorny issues which, will confront us, if you may, at this time in the life of our country.
All right. Indeed, we've seen the accession to the vacant seat in acting capacity. But let's talk about, having it in substantive capacity. How much longer will that take, and what is the procedure?
Look, the party, has its ways and means, and our constitution lays out our systems for this to happen. Now, before the resignation of the national chairman, I'm sure you are aware that we had in fact scheduled, very important meetings of our National Executive Committee and the National Caucus to again deal with institutional matters, policy issues, which we haven't, been able to get to because of all the activities with the primaries and the election. So that is our priority for now, to convene those meetings. And because NEC is, if you will, the highest policy organ of the party, we expect that the issue of, the succession, if you will, the replacement of these, senior leaders of our party who have resigned will be on the agenda. And the NEC will give, direction as to what next steps we're to follow.
All right, then. And in that statement you released earlier today, you had mentioned that individual party leaders and members retain the right to express their personal thoughts and opinions, but they don't necessarily represent the official position of the NWC. So when you hear a statement from a member of the party, especially a chieftain, and it doesn't seem to, go the way that the party as a body represents, how do you react to that?
Look, fact is that we are all human beings, who make up the leadership of the party at different levels. And, as human beings, people have their opinions and they're entitled to those opinions. And I also enjoy the liberty to express those opinions. But I think the point to be made is that not every party official or party leader or party chieftain who speaks is speaking for and on behalf of the party. The party has its own official communication channels. I am the National Publicity Secretary of the party. And a lot of information that the party has need to put out, by our constitution comes through me. And, in other cases, other leaders of the party are authorized to speak on behalf of the party. But it's not every comment, opinion expressed by any and every party leader or official should be attributed to the National Working Committee or to the party as a whole. Those statements that are meant to be issued officially come through the official channels of the party. Otherwise, those comments are really what they are, just individual opinions expressed by the holders of those views.
All right, let's talk about the presidency now. Nigerians are looking forward to release of the ministerial list. They want to know who handles what, and look forward to the fulfillment of the renewed hope promise of the present administration. How soon do you think that list will be out?
Well, I am certain that the list of the cabinet nominees by Mr. President will be made public very soon. I do know that they are hard at work in putting this list together, in vetting the list to make sure that credible, strong, competent people are appointed to serve in these capacities. This is very important task that laws and constitution gives the president the prerogative to do. So he's doing that, and I just would crave that we all should tarry just a bit. I know that we are in the final in the closing days, if you will, of that exercise, and soon will be made public.
And if I may ask your opinion really about some of the policies of this administration, one of them is the conditional cash transfer, which is already being reconsidered, as a result of public outcry. But already also we're hearing about our institutions where fees are rising from about 19,000 naira to about 100,000 naira or even more. That's, more than 100% increase in many of those cases. What is your take on this, and what would be your advice now to the presidency on handling this matter such that Nigerians are the better for it?
Okay, I'm quite certain that the president and the leadership of this government is very aware of the unfolding, if you will, realities and reactions, and some of the efforts by individuals, institutions, schools, actors in the economy to adjust to what they perceive to be the impact of the removal of fuel subsidy. But, look, I just urge that we all maintain some reasonableness because, question is whether the fuel subsidy removal justifies, 100%, 200% high, in anything, whether it's school fees or other important items of service or products. I don't believe so, but I'm sure that, the government is on top of this, and especially as they're working to put the cabinet together, where you have ministers and other officials who are assigned specific, tasks. I'm quite sure that they will take steps, the economic team, to look into this trend and actually, hopefully, bring it under control. But in the meantime, I think that, just to say that, look, I also, while people react, and our people react justifiably to some of the pressures that this is brought, I think it's time for Nigerians to also look back and appreciate, where we're coming from. The fact that for years, for decades, people have, purchased this product, fuel, at, almost next to nothing. Whereas the reality we're dealing with now has been the reality in so many countries of the world, both rich and poor alike.
All right, Mr.
Because
Moka.
oil is an international commodity and it is benchmarked internationally. So,
Indeed it is.
it has precautions when you deregulate for the domestic market.
All right. National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Felix Moka, thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7.